Welcome to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Ford 200 on Speed Channel. A beautiful day here in southern Florida. Temperature 83 degrees, just a little bit different than it was for practice and qualifying yesterday.
A little bit warmer. Sun's bright, shining right now, so most of the guys think the track's going to be a little bit slicker because of the sunshine.
Let's take a look at the U.S. Army starting grid. Up on the pole, his first one of the year, Bobby Hamilton claims the top spot, and teammate Chad Chaffin on his outside.
Looking at row 2, you've got the first of the Ultra Motorsports Dodges, that's Andy Houston, and one of the title contenders, Travis Kvapil.
Back in row 3, Brandon Witt qualified 6th. Tremendous run for him. Outside row 5, Ted Musgrave, the lead Ultra competitor, second in the points chase.
Another title contender starts in the 6th row. Dennis Setzer will be on the inside of that row, and then Brendan Gaughan on the inside of row 7. That is where he qualified, but because of an engine change, he'll have to go to the back.
And right there in the 27 Dodge, that's another Ultra Motorsports, is my old buddy P.J. Jones from road racing fame.
Dorsey, outside row 9, another Ultra Dodge. Marty Houston, Andy's brother, gets his first start of the year, number 10.
And if we go with teammates, Jack Sprague on the inside of row 11, the teammate of Travis Kvapil. Carl Edwards will start on the inside of row 12 in the number 99.
And alongside him, 5-time market champion Frank Kimmel making a start.
Our newly crowned Winston West champion Scott Lynch starts on the inside of row 13, and Tyler Walker makes his third start in the 5th Ultra truck.
Kelly Sutton starting on the inside of row 14. Morgan Shepherd, Johnny Sauter making up row 16, and then provisionals filling out the field. Buddy Rice out of the IRL joining the Craftsman Truck Series for this final race. A totally new facility. All the old records, all the old scrapbooks and notebooks that these guys have out the window.
The biggest thing about this racetrack, you see it, is the banking. The old racetrack had 6 degrees. That's down on the apron now. Now all the way up to the top, 20 degrees of banking, a lot more room than ever before, and these guys can race side by side.
Dorsey, you and I ran both of the other configurations of Homestead Miami Speedway. We haven't been on this one yet personally, but it looks awesome.
It's fast too. 169 mile per hour pole. That's fast.
Take a look at the Craftsman race analysis. Again, 36 trucks will start. The pit window, they say 55 to 65 laps, and that's depending upon manufacturer.
That's right. A lot of guys say the Fords can get a little bit better fuel mileage. 67 laps is halfway. A lot of people think the Fords can make it all the way to halfway. If they do, this race goes green, they'll have a big advantage.
Now, we've talked about variables. A lot of people have compared this track to the old Atlanta track.
It's very fast, like the old Atlanta track for sure. One thing that's different is, though, it's at sea level. They have to run a little bit more jet, more fuel, so they won't get as much fuel mileage as they might have been, and they probably won't make quite the power they did at Atlanta.
You look at this racetrack from above, and it looks just like the old Atlanta track. A very, very fast racetrack.
We'll be riding along with 4 different drivers. We'll be on board with the right now points leader, Brendan Gaughan. And again, he qualified 13th, but has to go to the back of the field because he changed not 1, but 2 engines. He blew 2 engines through practice and qualifying.
Next up, we're going to be riding on my old buddy Kenny Schrader in the number 52 Federated Auto Parts Chevrolet. Get a good ride out of him today, that's for sure.
Ted Musgrave, second point, starting 10th, has not qualified out of the top 10 in 1 race this year. Look for him to move towards the front.
And his teammate, Andy Houston, in the Team ASE CarQuest Dodge, will start in 3rd position. Now, we've talked about teammates. Will they play a role in this? Ted Musgrave has got 4 teammates. Travis Kvapil's got 1 teammate. Brendan Gaughan has a teammate in Scott Lynch. Now, a guy that doesn't have a teammate is our other contender, the 46 of Dennis Setzer.
I don't think teammates are really going to play much of a role in this race. If we get at the end of the race and a position means the difference between winning and losing, then I think maybe one of the Ultra guys would move over for Ted Musgrave. Maybe Jack Sprague would move over for Travis Kvapil. But during this race, I don't think teammates are going to matter. Do you, Dorsey?
No, I don't think they will either. Even though you got Brendan Gaughan all the way at the back, I think he's going to have enough racing room on this new racetrack to get the job done.
As we get down to this final race, one driver has an opportunity to win 10,000 points or $10,000 for his team, and that's Bobby Hamilton, who claimed the pole. If he's able to win from the pole, he will win the Craftsman Win from the Pole award and earn his team $10,000 from Craftsman.
If he would have won 10,000 points, now he would have won this championship already.
I'd rather have the dollars than the points at this point in the last race. I tell you one thing, though, Bobby Hamilton was pretty smart. We're talking about Atlanta. He actually went to Atlanta knowing that the racetrack would be similar to this. He tested there, and they have not changed a single thing on the setup from there. He's on the pole.
Now, we've talked to the 4 championship contenders, and Brendan Gaughan has somewhat made a prediction, and so we talked to him a little bit earlier. Let's listen to Brendan.
From the start of this race, you're going to show the points and say, Brendan Gaughan, Orleans Racing Team, 26 points ahead, Ted Musgrave, you know, whatever. And then by the time you drop the green flag, you're going to show the points as they are now. And it's going to be Ted Musgrave and Travis and Dennis Setzer, and Brendan Gaughan's going to be 4th. You know, and that's going to be neat for the fans to watch. Well, since this isn't going to air until after everybody's in their trucks, I'll let you on the secret. We're going to come from the back, and I'm going to go to the white line. And I'm going to get right down on the bottom of this racetrack, this brand new, beautiful Miami Homestead Speedway. And we're going to get on the bottom, where I've been practicing all weekend. And I'm going to sit on the bottom and watch all these guys in that 2nd and 3rd groove, because this is a great place. There are 2 and 3 and 4 grooves almost. I'm going to watch them dance around up there, and I'm going to go right on the bottom and start passing people and take our Dodge to the front where it belongs.
And so Brendan Gaughan making a prediction. He's going to go to the low side of the track. But there's been a lot of drivers that have driven on the low side of the track. Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. Let's talk about Ultra Motorsports. Ted Musgrave won 3 races this year. Jason Leffler got a victory at Dover, and Jimmy Spencer won at New Hampshire. They did that in 4 different chassis that they own. Guess what? There are 5 Ultra Motorsports trucks here today, but none of them are any of the 4 that have gone to victory lane so far this year. Barry?
Here we are at Homestead, 36 trucks Homestead, and we got a great crowd, but we got a great crowd on the haulers too. Winston Cup, Busch drivers wanting to know where to pass. New generation tire, first time long runs on this particular tire. Buckle up, Buttercup. We're going homesteading for the last time in 2003.
Mike Dolan pulls the pace truck down pit road. Bobby Hamilton and Chad Chaffin out in front of the pack. And the green flag comes out, and we're underway with the final race of the season.
Trouble in the corner. This is going to stack up pretty good.
That's Travis Kvapil. What a save.
What a save.
Throw that thing right back up on the racetrack.
That could have been the big one right there. That'll get your heart going.
Smoke coming out of the 4, but we've seen it before. Tire rub, the left front tire.
We've been worried about that for 18 races, and Bobby Hamilton doesn't worry about it. They run low air pressure to start. Once the air pressure, now that's a lot more smoke than we usually see. Look at these guys, 4 and 5 wide here.
Now, with the tire rub, there's something new about the tires here at Miami Speedway.
Barry touched on it. This is the new generation tire. This is actually the 2004 tire. It's a little bit softer, a little bit different sidewall than what these guys are used to. So you've got a brand new racetrack, a new type tire, a lot of variables for these guys to try to overcome.
And as Barry said at the beginning, this is the very first long run, and we got another sideways truck, and this one's going to go around. That's the 7.
Tyler Walker spins in the corner, and oh, very close.
One of the Ultra Motorsports boys.
We saw our point leader, Brendan Gaughan, just sneak by on the outside as Tyler Walker was spinning.
And caution number 1 comes out as Tyler Walker can't handle it coming out of turn 4. Gets sideways.
That would be one way that some of these teammates could change the outcome of this race, is if they start wrecking in the middle of everybody.
I think we get a replay of that. We'll see how close Brendan Gaughan came. Let's see if we can take a look right now. Keep an eye out for Brendan Gaughan. See, right there, that's a 7 truck right on the outside. Look at Brendan Gaughan right up against the wall. They're seeing, watch him sneak by on the outside. Very close call for our point leader.
A different angle looking at Tyler Walker.
Did a great job, Dorsey, of keeping the thing out of the outside wall.
Look at Brendan. This is what it looks like. You see him wiggling around up here.
Clear. Come on down. Caution's out. Caution's out.
Here's the first incident that took place earlier with our championship contender. Travis Kvapil getting sideways on the apron.
I think Terry Cook might have had something to do with that. Looked
like Travis backed off going in the corner. Terry really ran up in there hard and got into him. Watch how sideways he gets here. Watch this. See the contact right there. Terry Cook makes contact. He is almost 90 degrees sideways and saves that thing, Dorsey.
Well, I tell you what, his arms were thrashing in there, not to get it saved the first time, but to keep it from going back up the banking and into the wall. That was a whale of a maneuver.
So far, Dennis Setzer was right behind Travis Kvapil when that spin took place. Brendan Gaughan was right behind Tyler Walker when that spin took place. We're involving almost all of our title contenders, and we've only got through 4 laps.
And it's a long way to go.
Brendan Gaughan, in his prediction, told you a little bit about our championship race countdown or drop down. And so you see the championship chase drop down. This is the way the points championship would end up right now if the race ended right now. And we're going to continue to do this throughout the entire show.
Just as Brendan said, when we start this race, I'm going to be running 4th in the championship fight. But he said, don't look for me to stay there long. You can see he's already gained 6 positions. We only ran a couple of green flag laps, and he already got by 6 trucks.
Of course, he also said he was going to be right down that white line. When we saw him in that wreck, he was all the way up against the wall. So I don't know what happened there.
When that championship chase drops down on the left side, you will see where they're running currently on the track, and then you will see the point deficit they have to the championship. You see the Terry Cook in the 29 Power Stroke Diesel on pit road right now.
Trying to repair a little bit of the damage from where he got into Travis Kvapil. So many unknowns, though. We talk about the tires, we talk about this racetrack and how long these tires are going to last and things like that. Most of the guys said these tires never slow down. Every lap is just like qualifying.
Looking at the tires on the infield, we saw a lot of scuffing, which is usually a tight condition off the front tires. We saw a lot of that. Now, wear is a concern. Nobody knows yet how far these tires will go.
Ray?
Well, Rick, the Keselowskis from K Automotive got bad news this week. It is official that Power Stroke Diesel will not return to the 29 next year. Neither will Terry Cook. Terry stays with the sponsor. There's a couple of variables. They may either be going to Roush Racing or PPC Racing from the Busch Series. One of those two are the finalists to see where Terry Cook and Power Stroke goes next season.
Green flag flies. We're back to racing as they start lap 6 of 134. Dennis Setzer trying to make the pass as they go to the bottom of the line.
Andy Houston trying to take over the lead from Bobby Hamilton.
Side-by-side racing there. Ultra Motorsports, Andy Houston, Bobby Hamilton on the high side.
See a good look at that smoke off the left front tire there. It's obviously not as bad as it was earlier, so it is getting better.
Well, the pressures are coming up for sure, and that's going to give him some more ride height. But he runs right on the bottom. He keeps that nose pinned down, and that's the right thing to do. We've worried about that rubbing a hole in the tire, but it rubs on the top, on the tread side of the tire. It really doesn't hurt anything there. Just looks bad.
How distracting is that for a driver that's right behind him?
Well, that and yourself, you smell that smoke, and you don't want to smell smoke when you're driving one of these trucks at 185 miles an hour on the straightaway.
That's a fact.
Bobby Hamilton, Andy Houston, Chad Chaffin, Bill Lester. We have the 3 Bobby Hamilton Racing trucks in the top 4 currently.
Really like what I'm seeing on this racetrack, man. Everybody side by side, 3 and 4 wide, and we're broken into 2 groups now. There's a second group.
Race for the lead going down the backstretch. Andy Houston on the inside of Bobby Hamilton.
See who may have an advantage as they get down in turn number 3. This racetrack is doing just what it's designed to do, is allow for side-by-side racing.
Fast racing, too. Like I said, 169 mile per hour lap average. Straightaway speed, like you said, Phil, 185, almost 188 on the qualifying run.
Bobby Hamilton probably the strongest truck through practice and qualifying yesterday, and he's showing it again now. But again, the tire rub, that's got to come into play, doesn't it, as far as maybe his longevity on the track with the way that left front's rubbing?
It hasn't so far, and we've watched this over 4 or 5 races. Like I say, it's rubbing at the very top of the tread of the tire, and that's its thickest point. So I don't think so, but maybe Ray can give us some insight on that, Ray.
Well, Dorsey, Bobby's been saying on the radio that he's very loose coming off at turn number 4, so he's trying to use the high side of the racetrack to see if he can help it a little bit. But even though he's got the lead, he's been complaining quite a bit about being loose.
A battle for second. Chad Chapman trying to get by Andy Houston, and Rick Crawford trying to make the pass. And Rick Crawford with a new paint scheme on that number 14.
Yeah, Daryl's going to like that one. It's got flames all over the place.
We'll be joined by 3-time Winston Cup champion Darrell Waltrip during our broadcast today.
Rick Crawford able to make the pass to get into the second position.
That'll make Ford real happy if a Ford could win today.
Don't worry, folks. That smoke that you see, Bobby Hamilton says it's normal. Tire rub on the number 4 Square D Dodge. Welcome back to Homestead Miami Speedway. I'm Rick Allen, joined by Dorsey Schrader, Phil Parsons, and Darrell Waltrip.
Hey, guys.
Now, Darrell, you became a race owner or a truck owner today. You think you want to jump into a championship race like going on right now?
Oh, listen, I'd love to be right in the midst of this whole thing right here. I'd like to be right where Bobby Hamilton is right now. You know, I talked to Bobby earlier today, and he said, I don't know how fast my truck is. He said, I've only driven it fast enough to stay at the top of the board. And if you notice that smoking you were worrying about, the less it smokes, the faster he goes. He's just pulling away from the field right now. He got a fast truck.
Bobby Hamilton now moving by lap traffic. Bobby Hamilton currently just over a second lead on Rick Crawford. And we look at the points championship chase. 5 points separate Musgrave from Gone right now. He's currently running in 19th. Musgrave is running in 12th position. So Gone back up into the top spot for this championship chase.
Right now, Dennis Setzer is leading our 4-point contenders. He just took over the 8th position while we were looking at that graphic there. So this thing is anybody's race right now.
And I don't know. I was kind of chuckling to myself when Brandon said, I'm going to get it right down on the bottom. Because I've been watching truck racing all year long. And if he does, it'll be the first time. He's a rim rider.
You can't usually see the bottom.
No, he's a rim rider.
Before the race today, I even talked to him. I said, now, you're still going to go to the bottom. He goes, everybody thinks I'm going to the top. Everybody thinks I'm going to run the top. I think I'll go on the bottom. I'll be able to pass him.
See, I think that's some of that championship psychology that you throw on these guys, though.
He learned that from you, man.
Oh, yeah. You psych them out. Or as Jake Elder, you say, you cycle them out.
Looking back at your title leader right now, Brendan Gaughan.
That's not the bottom.
No.
That's the other end of the bottom.
I haven't seen him pass anybody on the bottom, personally.
That's the other end of the bottom. That's the top.
He wants Bobby Hamilton to keep waiting for him to come up under him, but I think he'll probably slide by on the outside if he goes back.
You know, we talked about Brendan losing 2 engines yesterday, talking to Kevin Croyer, his engine builder. He said, hey, I was worried when we put the second engine in because it was an absolute twin to the first one. And sure enough, they went out and put it in, qualified, started looking at the motor right before happy hour and said the same thing happened. So they end up putting a third motor in, which did not have the same batch of parts that those first 2 did. So they really feel pretty confident that this motor's going to go all the way.
And you know, the thing about it is, Phil, I mean, we're late in the year. I mean, obviously, the last race of the year. A lot of these parts have been used a time or 2. I mean, everybody keeps fresh stuff, don't get me wrong, but some of this stuff's been raced a time or 2, been rebuilt, and that can cause you some problems at the end of the year, too.
You see the IWX Chevrolet number 11 of Jack Sprague. Earlier, he had a very close call. Let's take a look.
Coming off turn number 4 here, you see the 2 IWX trucks together. He starts to pull up in front of Matt Crafton in the 98 and didn't quite have him cleared. A very, very close situation right there.
Just about opened his tailgate right there.
Steve Coulter probably had a little bit of a heart problem, thinking 2 trucks right there and possibly in problems. Brandon Witt having troubles in number 38.
That's a shame, too, because he was really running well this weekend.
2 guys that have swapped the title back and forth, or the title lead. Travis Kvapil on the high side. Brendan Gaughan trying to make the pass now on the low side of the track.
Well, I think this will be the first truck he passes on the bottom of the racetrack if he does, in fact, get by Travis. But
of course, you got Ted Musgrave, the other contender, right in front of them. So one thing that's really cool is that these guys are racing for their championship.
You see the 2 Orleans Dodges right there. Scott Lynch in the 61, Brendan Gaughan in the 62.
So the guys were telling me one of the things that's different about this place and what they're accustomed to is when they got here, they started running around the top. Normally we start running around the bottom and we start sliding to the top. Here they start running around the top and they've worked their way slowly down to the bottom.
Why is that?
Well, it's grip. They just put grip in the racetrack with the rubber they've been putting down.
But I think everyone heard so much about the fact that the progressive banking and that there was going to be baked more at the top of the racetrack. As you mentioned, Earl, they came here, they automatically started running the top of the racetrack. But they felt like there's only 2 degrees difference between the top and the bottom. As you mentioned, they kept moving down, and now basically they feel like the best way around the racetrack is right on the bottom.
Great battle for 7th. Dennis Setzer in that Axiom Chevrolet. With more on him, Ray Dunlap.
Hey, Rick, Darrell was talking about used parts. Well, I think the 46 team got a real lucky break earlier yesterday. They found out that they had a transmission that was a little bit seized up, and that was cool, keeping them from getting the maximum power out of the engine. Dennis said it just wouldn't come off the corners like he wanted it to, so they tried a bunch of different gears, and it didn't help. They pulled the transmission out, found out there was a problem with it, replaced it, and Setzer says the truck is good today, but now he still wishes he had a little bit more gear.
Yeah, I don't want to make it sound like that they're using used up parts. I'm just saying they've got parts and pieces that they're comfortable with using again. Sometimes that'll get you in trouble at the end of the year, especially when you're going for the championship. I'd want everything brand new.
Those two guys going for a championship, Brendan Gaughan and Travis Kvapil, currently a battle for 14th position, and Brendan Gaughan has taken it away. Gaughan currently running in 14th now. That'll update when they cross the start-finish line. He still now has a 14-point lead over Setzer, who's second in the championship.
But that can change so quickly. We saw when they started the race, Brendan was so far back that he ended up going from 1st to 4th. You come in and have a bad pit stop on a caution flag, and you're liable to come in the point leader and come back out 4th.
Take a look who's right in front of him now. Ted Musgrave, number 1, will be the next truck to fall to Brendan if he can make this work right here.
But you think back to Phoenix, you know, Brendan had an engine. Brendan was going to have a great finish at Phoenix. They had an engine problem there, and he lucked out. That stayed together, and he was able to finish 12. You know, they've had a string of engine problems here lately.
Now, when you were running for your championship, you're driving in the car, and the guy that you're battling with that championship with goes by you, like Ted Musgrave right now. He's got Brendan Gaughan trying to go by him. How deflating is that for Ted Musgrave?
Well, you want to keep him in sight. That's the main thing. I'd like to get right behind the guy I'm racing and let him know I'm still here.
And Ted Musgrave knows that he's going to have a couple pit stops to work on that truck, too. We've seen those guys do some miraculous changes to that truck and make it better. We saw them win a race at Fontana when they moved the rear end housing. So they're no stranger to making major adjustments to make their truck better.
Also, from what Ted said in his interview at the beginning of the show, he expected Brendan to come up through the pack like this. He knew it was coming.
It's taken 28 laps for Brendan Gaughan to get all the way up to 12th position. He started at the back of the pack because of an engine change. Brendan Gaughan leading the points chase here at Homestead Miami Speedway. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series 4 on Speed Channel is brought to you by the next Ford F-150, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Craftsman, the official tools of NASCAR and the NHRA. And by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. Our leader, Bobby Hamilton, in the Square D Dodge number 4, out in front of Rick Crawford by over 2 seconds.
No more smoke either.
Yeah, and just to give you an idea how far behind Brendan is, here comes Bobby now. He's at the line now, and Brendan's going down the back straightaway, half lap down. It's a good little race right here.
Jack Sprague, Dennis Setzer.
Yeah, and Brendan Gaughan has just closed in. There's him in the back of the picture there. He's just closed in on this little group. Carl Edwards just got by Jack Sprague, and here comes Brendan.
Brendan now has broken into the top 10 already after 34 laps of racing.
Carl Edwards all the way up to 7th, and he just didn't get a good qualifying. He said they lost the racetrack somewhere yesterday in qualifying. He was pretty bad, so he's running well today.
See, this is a good shot out of Brendan's onboard here. You see that right there? That's the bottom of the tape, and that's the actual top of the windshield up there. That's how much tape these guys put on these windshields because the sun's getting lower and lower. Look, watch as they go down into turn number 1. You see that sunshine, and that's going to only get worse as the race wears on.
And Phil, Brandon's a stocky kid. He sits really low in that truck, so he's almost looking up out of the truck, looking right straight up into the sun.
Plus, you saw all the rubber marks that were on that windshield right there, and that makes a big problem when you go into the sun. That stuff just goes to complete opaque. You can't see out of it.
I'm sure he's got several tear-offs on that windshield if he gets a chance to get them off on a pit stop.
That's been one of the greatest inventions that they've ever come up with, is those tear-offs.
Here's the truth there.
Great battle for 9th position. Dennis Setzer, Brendan Gaughan both in the championship hunt. Brendan Gaughan going by Dennis Setzer on the low side.
Well, if you can come from the very back and win your championship by going to the front by all you guys, more power to you. That guy's strong.
The way that 62 truck is run all year long, though, Dorsey, on the super speedways, they got a great package. The truck handles good, and they got some power.
Let's go down trackside to Ray.
Well, guys, Setzer's just a little bit tight right now as he's coming off the corner. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment to adjust for that. Here's what I thought was a little bit weird about their deal. They were planning on bringing Tweak here, which is the name of one of their trucks. They ran it at California, Vegas, and I think they also ran it at Texas. But they decided not to because they tested here Monday, and they like this particular truck a lot better. This truck is called Stan, and it's got 3 victories this year. Stan has been the man, and they said even though those wins were on a short track, we're going to bring it here and roll for the dice. Barry?
You know, Carl Edwards has talked about his truck being a little bit loose. I know Setzer got by, but really, I don't think that that's a bad deal. Do you, DW?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Like we've documented here a time or two, those guys have a history of coming in and fixing their problems. And, hey, Ray, one of my car owners always told me that truck doesn't have any idea where it's at. So you can run them anywhere.
I guess you're right, but it just seems weird when he wins with it at Martinsville that he'd bring it to a track that's this fast now.
Well, it's comfortable. He feels good in it.
When you're running for a championship, you probably want to be comfortable.
Yeah, you want to have a piece that you feel confident in, and it drives good, and you know you've won in it, and so it gives you a lot of confidence, added confidence.
We talked to Brendan Gaughan's crew chief, Shane Wilson, in Michigan. He said, I felt like I brought the truck with a little bit too much downforce. And about that time we got done with the interview, he took the lead and won by 11 seconds. too much downforce.
Kind of like what he's trying to do right now, as a matter of fact.
Barry?
Hey, DW, why wouldn't you run it? It's got to fit the same templates. They're running the same front springs you run at Martinsville.
Yeah, Barry, this track is so smooth, and they got them sucked down with real soft springs. The back of that great big old right rear spring laid up in them. I would go with the piece that felt good.
A lot of these guys are talking about having a bigger right rear spring than a right front spring, which is incredible.
I don't even want to tell you the numbers that I heard, Phil. I mean, the softest right rear spring I heard was a 600-pound right rear. Now, maybe that doesn't mean a lot to the people at home, but they got a 450 and a 500 in the right front. So the stiffest spring in the truck is in the right rear, and it's all because of that great big blade that these things have to pull. It keeps from sinking the thing down in the earth.
And what a 600-pound spring is, that means as you compress a spring 1 inch, it takes 600 pounds to compress that spring 1 inch. These guys will get, 2.5 inches of travel in the rear, 2 to 2.5. So these springs will actually be like 1,500 pounds of compression.
Yeah, these things generate a lot more downforce than people think they do. I have people all the time say, don't they drive funny? They don't. They drive they drive great.
Brendan Gaughan took 7th position away from Jack Sprague in that IWX number 11.
Yeah, these things have about 1,600 pounds of downforce. That's almost as much as a car today. Well, it's probably very, very close with the spoiler package and the way the noses are pulled out on these things.
We look at the championship chase where the championship contenders are running. Ted Musgrave currently 14th. He started 10th, so backing up a little bit in the Mopar Dodge. Travis Kvapil currently running in 16th position. 12th position is Travis Kvapil, excuse me. Started 4th. So Kvapil backing up as well.
Well, yeah, but you got to remember how he got off to a shaky start.
Yeah, he backed up sideways over there in turns 1 and 2.
I thought he was going to be back there with Brandon the way they started off.
He's lucky to be running it all right now after that.
Exactly. That was a great save, no question about it.
Dennis Setzer in the Axiom Chevrolet, number 46, currently in 10th. He started 11th, so moved up one spot.
Got a big announcement today that Dennis is going to be back with Morgan Dollar Motorsports. Chevrolet will actually be the sponsor on that truck, so they're looking for big things. Look to be in this championship again next year.
Brendan Gaughan in the Orleans Dodge. Again, he qualified 13th. He's currently running in 7th. But the story is he changed an engine, went to the back of the field, and is now running 7th.
But do you know how much confidence that gives him, knowing he started in the back? He's raced his way up to 7th. He's smelling championship.
Brendan Gaughan running for that elusive championship he's been looking for in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Bobby Hamilton leads this one. (2002) NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion Mike Bliss looks on from atop the IWX Motor Freight War Wagon. Coming up at 7 p.m. on Speed, it's NASCAR Trackside with Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds, Jeff Hammond, and Michael Waltrip. The guys will be talking about this weekend's NASCAR triple header from right here in Homestead. Among tonight's guests will be the winner of the championship from here in Homestead Miami Speedway, right now on the track. Also Anthony Edwards, that was Goose from Top Gun, and all the guys in the hunt for the Busch Series title. Trackside live from here at Homestead Miami Speedway, only on Speed.
You know, one thing, Rick, that I'm happy about is we run 50 laps now, and that's a lot of laps on these tires. We've seen no indication of a problem. I know there's a bunch of Cup drivers and Busch drivers down there that probably a big sigh of relief.
Bobby Hamilton's waving right there.
Yeah, he is.
Something has to be wrong here. This could not be a scheduled pit stop. Could have this early? 50 laps, that's very, very early to come in.
Bobby Hamilton coming in. Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Well, it is scheduled, Rick. They've been talking on the radio for 3 laps now to be ready for him because he's on his way. I just heard a couple other guys say on the radio they can go 6 more laps, so I'm not sure what's going on. I'm on my way to his pits. Right now, here we'll see. Bobby has said nothing more about the racetrack or the car, or the truck, excuse me. And we're almost there. We're there. That's a long way down pit road, but Bobby is on his way down here. Square D Dodge. As I told you, he was complaining about loose earlier, so I'm just wondering if it's gotten so bad that he decided that the chassis adjustment was more important now than giving up the track position. These guys go to work here on the Square D Dodge. They'll do right side tires, no problem over there. Everything looks pretty smooth. Got help from all different teams here from Bobby Hamilton Racing. Left side, just a little bit of a hang up on the left rear. Fronts are done, ready to go. They make a wedge adjustment in the left side, and he's on his way.
Put about a round of wedge in that thing, Darrell.
Yeah, he's a little bit loose, but, you know, that ought to actually save fuel. But I think Dorsey may have hit on something there a little bit earlier in the show when he talked about sea level and the jets and stuff that they're having to run here for the engines. You know, not going to get quite as good a fuel mileage as they normally do. Plus, the way Bobby Hamilton's truck is running, you know, he's going to burn up a little more fuel because he's been carrying the mail.
There's our new leader right there, Rick Crawford. He actually had caught Bobby Hamilton prior to Bobby coming in the pits. He was almost 2.5 seconds behind at one time, and he was able to run him back down within a half a second.
And if you remember, Rick Crawford won to start off this season in Florida. This might be his state.
Oh, yeah, well, it's a fast racetrack, got that Yates power. You know, he can have a good day. I see Bobby Hamilton. He's back smoking those tires again.
David Starr right behind Rick Crawford. A great run for David Starr in that Spears Manufacturing number 75.
Isn't this Ford supposed to win the Ford-sponsored race? Isn't that how it's supposed to be written?
I don't know, but I like those flames on the side of that thing.
I knew you would like those flames.
I like it.
Darrell, let me tell you about those flames. Carlos D. Fernandez of Miami. He was named the winner of the 2003 Hispanic Heritage Art Contest, and he had the opportunity to design that paint job that's on Rick Crawford's truck. Let's go down to Barry Dodson.
Ted Musgrave pulling in the Mopar pits here. We'll see what they're doing. They're going to the right side. The truck is tight. That incorporates fuel mileage that you cannot calculate. 2 rounds of wedge out of the left rear. It'll be 4 tires. Left sides are going on now. Looks like a pretty good stop. Truck's full and gone. Great stop.
Ended up taking a little tape off the grill too, so he must be running a little bit warm out there.
Here comes the 46 of Dennis Setzer. Let's go to Ray.
Well, guys, keep in mind the 2-truck of Andy Houston is just pitted, and he's in the stall right in front of Dennis Setzer. They said be prepared for him to leave, but that won't happen because they aren't done with their stuff. So here comes the Axiom and Computer Associates Chevrolet. The last time for this sponsorship, the last time you'll see it, red and blue. They're going to go with a wedge adjustment there because he was tight all the way through the center. 1.5 rounds for Setzer on the right side for wedge. These guys go to left side. Earlier today, they had talked about having a Busch Grand National crew pit these guys, but these are the guys that got him in this championship chase. 19.2 for Setzer as they give 4 tires.
Dennis Setzer making his way back out onto the track. And here comes your points leader, Brendan Gaughan, in the Orleans Dodge. Comes in.
He was trying to lead a lap, but he just finally had to come in. He can't afford to run out of fuel. So
3,
Barry Dodson.
1.
Tell you what, I got bad news for everybody, boys. He's really, really happy with this truck. Shane says I'm going to free it up just a little bit, quarter turn down on the track bar because the track is going to get tighter. Now on the left side, great pit stop going on. Left's going on now. Should be full of fuel. Excellent pit stop, down and away.
And Travis Quaffel's in down here. He's getting 4 tires. They run on the right side. Little problem on the, big problem on the right front. Jackman around.
It's going to really slow that pit stop down. It looked like the guy had to pick up another look off the ground.
He did, Phil, and the NASCAR inspector was right there over his shoulder, so he had to get it back on.
David Starr in the Spears Manufacturing, number 75, out in front of the pack after 59 laps. He claims 5 bonus points, which all of these title contenders would love to be able to grab.
Yeah, I know that. I'm pretty sure Brandon was trying to stay out there as long as he could to possibly pick up that 5 points, but like I said, he cannot afford to run out of fuel.
These trucks are so, because of the big cab, you can see, looks like David starts slowing now to come in the pits, as you see. There's 11 and 46, good battle right there. But these trucks have such a big cab, they're not as smooth and slick in the air as the cars. If you run out of fuel coming off turn 4 and don't quite make pit road, you might not make it all the way back around.
Yeah, they don't glide too well.
Plus, you also run the risk of melting a piston down because of the sea level thing we talked about before. You can't be off the throttle or be partial throttle around here very much without running the risk of really sending that piston temperatures really high.
David Starr possibly testing that pit window we talked about. Already completed 60 laps. When you're running for a championship, things have got to go very, very clean. Travis Quapple had that problem in the pits.
Yeah, you can see the right front guy up there, and see the lug nut fall on the ground ground there. He picks it up. He picked it up.
he definitely picked it up.
He picked it up. I don't know what he did with it, but he did pick it up.
Now, when those guys pulled the wheels off, a lug nut could have been stuck in the gun and dropped out from one of the tires that he pulled off, right? Or wrong?
That's what I'd be telling that NASCAR guy.
Exactly what I was saying. I like that theory.
That's right.
Let's go down trackside to Ray.
Thank you, Ricks. David Starr was in. They got 4 tires on his Spears Chevrolet. Now, Chris Beeson is normally the rear tire changer, but he's home. His wife was having a problem this weekend. He was not able to be here, and they had a little bit of a hang-up as they brought in a guy to do the rear tires in place of Chris Beeson. He fell down on the way around, so Starr had about a 3-second longer pit stop than they had hoped for.
Ray, I know that several of the truck teams here are using some different crew members this weekend, trying to improve their pit stops, knowing that this thing had a green flag kind of look to it from the get-go.
Let's go down to Barry Dodson.
John Wood's in, taking advantage of fuel mileage. Right side's going on now. He had been tight. Carl Edwards had been loose. Dropped the jack. Pretty good stop on the right side. Going around the left side now. Left side's going up. Tires going on. Got to get it full. You know these guys are looking for a mileage race if they get some cautions down and away.
John Wood coming out 18 seconds. His teammate, Carl Edwards, leading a lap.
Again, the Roush trucks with the best fuel mileage. We've seen that all year. And, you know, it's paid dividends before.
Dorsey stays on the racetrack there. You see Bobby Hamilton right behind Carl Edwards. He has run 64 laps. Can he go 1 or 2 more laps, he would probably get in his window and be able to run this entire race on 1 pit stop.
134 laps. If he could make it 67 laps, he'd be exactly halfway.
Remember, we ran 3 pace laps, so he actually has run 67 laps if you count the 3 pace laps. So there's Bobby Hamilton. Obviously, he's got fresher tires than Carl Edwards, but I'd say if Carl can run about 1 more lap, he's in that window.
Yeah, he is, and he's not going to race Bobby right now because he's trying to make it all the way to his fuel window, and so he lets Bobby go.
That puts Bobby back on the lead lap. Right now, only 3 trucks on the lead lap by virtue of Carl Edwards staying out so long.
Bobby Hamilton trying to catch up to our leader, Carl Edwards. Staying out. We'll be back for more of the Ford 200. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., be sure to tune into Speed to see the Winston Cup drivers take to Homestead Miami Speedway for their final practice before Sunday's season finale. It's Winston Cup Happy Hour from here at Homestead Miami Speedway tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, live right here on Speed. Great battle for 8. Dennis Setzer and Jack Sprague. Dennis Setzer in the Axiom Computer Associates, number 46. Jack Sprague in the IWX, number 11. Now, while we were at break, our leader, Carl Edwards, decided to come in for a pit stop, which he desperately needed to do, and might have come in a little quick, guys.
Yeah, well, it's just tricky coming around that turn right there. It's a lot of dirt and debris down there, and you get on your tires, and you can get in trouble.
Barry?
You're exactly right, guys. He came in, he almost got the water barrels. He was trying to capitalize on getting to pit road as quickly as he could. They backed that up with an excellent pit stop. But DW, there's a lot of sand down there, buddy. We're close to the beach.
Yeah, there is, Barry. And, of course, this new asphalt is going to shed a little bit, too. So the inside of the racetrack down there on that apron is going to be pretty dirty.
It's a battle for 11th right there. Carl Edwards, Ted Musgrave. We now have 13 trucks on the lead lap.
Take a look at the championship chase. Brendan Gaughan, first in points. Ted Musgrave, currently in 12th position. Great battle for second in the points race between Musgrave and Kvapil right now. 54 and 55 points, and 56 with Setzer.
2 points for 3 positions right there.
Unbelievable.
Been that way all year, though. I mean, these guys really putting it on the line.
Yeah, and, you know, since those that early caution we've had, it's been down and dirty here, green, and these guys are doing a great job. Everybody's running smooth.
Travis Kvapil currently in 10th position.
It's really kind of amazing that these guys, having never seen this racetrack before, this is the first race of any kind on this racetrack. We had that 1 caution flag. Otherwise, we've gone about 60-some laps now, clean and green, and on a brand new racetrack.
And you can't say it's because they're not being aggressive. We've seen that at the start. These guys are racing hard.
Currently in 4th in the points chase, the championship chase. Dennis Setzer is in 9th position on the racetrack, started 11th.
There's Travis Kvapil right behind him. You know, we saw that graphic that right now he has a 50-some point lead if the race ended right now. But hey, that could change so quick there. All he would have to have is, again, a bad pit stop, a flat tire. Anything could happen and cause that lead to go away big time.
And Brendan Gaughan knows that anything can happen because the last 2 races, something has happened.
Absolutely right. That, you know, you look at what happened where he has a spark plug come off or whatever the real story was on that, we don't know. But with 10 laps to go, you know, he had a pretty sure thing going and the motor fall off. And he comes here, he should have been in the rocking chair, and he's not.
You know what I liked about it? I was listening to that race you guys were doing, and Brendan was talking to his crew, and he wasn't panicking. He said, tell me what to do. I've got a problem. Can anybody help me here? Tell me what to do. He didn't go off berserk, you know, and start screaming that we got an engine problem. Very methodically, he and his spotter and the crew chief all talked through the situation.
A lot of strategy going on. Ray?
Hey, Rick, I just wanted to talk to all your drivers you got up there in the booth, because here's what the crew chiefs would be saying to them if they were out there racing. Guys, we're going to go with a gas and go at the end. These tires are great. There's no tire wear. We're going to need tires later on. We're going to gas you and go at the end. So that set of tires you got there on that last pit stop, that might be all you have till the end of the day. What do you think of that?
I think that very well may be what happens, Ray. And then one guy that's not going to have to worry about a guess and go, I don't think, is Carl Edwards. I think he pitted on lap 66. He's got 68 green flag laps to go. He ran 3 pace laps. I think he can do it.
I think he can too, and if I was him, I'd be thinking that way and saving a little fuel right now, because the race could fall right into his lap.
That's what the crew chief should be hammering on right now, is get in behind somebody and ride. Get off that throttle. Don't use the fuel up.
Guys that are in the throttle right now, battling for third. Andy Houston out in front of David Starr.
And I think strategy is different. Everybody's on a different agenda. You got some guys that changed a shot at winning the championship. Got some guys that just want to win a race. So I think it depends on what your situation is to what you're going to do when you come down to that last stop.
46 and 16 battling it out here. Dennis Setzer out in front of Travis Kvapil. Battle for 9th position. Dennis Setzer.
They just took over that position from Chad Cheffin. Both of those guys got by Chad.
And what I'm talking about, Rick, is you can't, if you're Brendan, you can't let what somebody else does dictate what you need to do to win the championship. So if a race gets away, a win gets away today, but you win the championship, that's the big picture. That's what you want to think.
And Brendan brings a little bit of a different mentality to this sport, because he's played at Georgetown in basketball. He's played football. He came in and he said, you know what, I'm going to win. I'm not worried about how many points or how many places I have to be. I'm going to win this race.
Yeah, but that's a great strategy until now. Now I want to win the championship. You can't win this battle and lose the war.
Championship chase, Brendan Gaughan, 51 points in front of second place Travis Kvapil right now. And Kvapil has moved ahead of Musgrave, who had moved ahead of him after Phoenix.
A good battle shaping up for the lead right now. Bobby Hamilton in the 4 has finally caught Crawford's Ford there. And looks like he's going to start working him over.
Yeah, Bobby. I'm sorry, Phil, go ahead.
As Dorsey mentioned, or Rick mentioned earlier, Bobby Hamilton has been good since they unloaded. He has been so wicked fast. I talked to him just like Darrell did this morning. He said, I don't know how fast my truck will run. He said, as Darrell mentioned, I've only run fast enough to stay faster than everybody else, and it looks like today he's got a little bit left.
Well, he does, and if he doesn't have any mechanical problems or anything, he's got this thing dialed in for this racetrack.
After
you know, I was
81,
really...
Oh, sorry, we got to run away for just a second, DW. We'll come back to more exciting racing. Rick Crawford out in front of Bobby Hamilton and David Starr for the Ford 200. Danny Briggs Jr. of Mechanicsville, Virginia, was the winner of the Craftsman National Promotion Fly Around the Track, in which he won a flight in the famed Goodyear blimp cruising around the Miami Homestead area. Although he's afraid to fly, he went up and enjoyed the ride. I want to thank the good folks at Craftsman. Other prizes that he was able to claim: a lap in the Pace truck today, 4 tickets to all 3 races this weekend, and a seat at Saturday's truck banquets. Pretty good view from up there. Thank you to Craftsman. And we're back to our leader, Rick Crawford.
Rick Crawford just really, I don't know, he got away from Bobby. Bobby was all over the back of him there, and all of a sudden Rick just pulled out a big lead on him. Rick's truck is really handling down the straightaway though, Dorsey.
Yeah, that's what we want, to handle down the straightaway. It makes your life a lot better.
That's the way I like from the handle.
Robert Yates horsepower is getting down that straightaway good.
Ray, what's happening?
Hey, Rick, if you were leading the race and you were in Florida, wouldn't you want to have a gator in your pits? Well, Rick Crawford does. Gene Gator Norris is the crew chief down here, or not the crew chief, excuse me, he's the jack man down here for Rick Crawford. But this week, he's got something else on his mind, because he is heading to Key West to get married to longtime girlfriend Susie. Now, they were supposed to get married out in Vegas, but Susie said, I want to do it by the beach. And there's a lot of sand in Vegas, but no real beach. So they decided Florida was the best spot. So good luck to Susie and Gator.
Here are our teammates, Travis Kvapil and Jack Sprague in the 11. Travis Kvapil out in front in the 16.
I think Sprague let him go right there.
Oh, I think so.
Jack hasn't run as well. He was complaining about the handling of the truck earlier.
That was really strange because of the way they qualified. Travis qualified very, very well. And you would think they had the same setup on the 2 trucks, but maybe not. Jack way at the back. In fact, almost didn't make it in the show.
They made a lot of changes to that 11 truck, trying something different. They tried it Monday. They had an open test day for all the Truck Series competitors. They had that truck. I talked to Jack yesterday. He said this truck will not turn. He said it's a tightest truck no matter what is anything I've ever driven. So they changed the truck back for happy hour, just like the 16 truck of Travis Kwaplen. He was considerably better in happy hour, and that's why we can see him racing now in the top 10.
Got a smoker over in turn 3 there. Looks like Schrader.
Oh.
Ken Schrader in the Federated Auto Parts number 52.
And that's coming out of the tailpipe, so you know what that's going to mean. Yellow flag, boys.
Our second caution of the day comes out as Ken Schrader has problems through turns 3 and 4.
This will get everyone in their pit window. I think we'll see everybody pit on this caution flag, and that will get them all in the pit window. We've only got 44 laps to go, so this will do it. This is going to negate any advantage Carl Edwards may have had on fuel.
And when the caution flag comes out, again, the top 3 series in NASCAR, all positions must freeze right where they're at on the track. They'll all get in line. They'll line up behind the pace truck, and then at that time they'll open up pit road, and I would imagine we'll see quite a few trucks heading in for their final pit stop.
It's going to be extremely important for these guys to get a good pit stop right now.
I think here's where you say, do I take 2 or do I take 4? Do I take track position? That'd be critical right now.
These guys have about 30 laps on their tires. Most of these guys pitted around lap 60. We've gone now 91 laps, so it looks like, as Ray mentioned, I think, in Barry, the tire wear looks really good, so there could be some 2-tire stuff.
When this caution came out, Carl Edwards running 11th. Should he stay out? Track position, he could move all the way up to the front, and like you said, he's running a good truck.
Well, you know, maybe there was a gamble, and this will certainly help him with the caution laps. He gets up in the front, he got track position, maybe so. We'll see what they decide.
And if timing and scoring is right, Scott Lynch, Brendan Gaughan's teammate, will be the recipient of the free go round, and he'll be back on the lead lap.
See all the leaders peel off there to head towards pit road. We'll see if Carl Edwards decides to also.
He'll be the next one to make the move if he does.
Yeah,
he will.
He's down.
See over to the right of your screen there's all the leaders coming down pit road.
There's too many unknowns, tire-wise and everything else, to maybe gamble on that today.
Let's go down to pit road and Barry Dodson.
Orleans Dodge pulling in a pit, Rick. Going around here, we'll probably see 4 tires. Everybody can make it now on fuel. Pretty good stop on the right side. First can's going in. Here they come, left side's going up. 1 can of fuel, that's all. Down the right.
Hey, Barry, they're going to make an air pressure adjustment, adding 1.5 pounds to the right rear for Crawford. He said it just starts out too loose for him, but they said no way would we go with 2 tires. This will be a 4-tire stop for the number 14 Circle Bar team, and they head out.
Well, Musgrave's guys won the battle of pit lane right there as he picked up 2 seconds on the competitors. Uh-oh.
They're leaking something, I guess, because that's what
Push out of gear.
Dennis Setzer off pit road.
Well, there went that strategy with the 99. It all went bad, didn't it?
Ray, what's happening?
Hey, big chassis adjustment for Setzer. I couldn't get down there, but I just looked and see if they did really what they were talking about. 5 rounds out of Setzer's truck on the right side, so huge chassis adjustment there. And David Starr did go for the gamble. They went with 2 tires instead of 4, so right sides only for the 75.
David Starr looking to win his first race of 2003. Working on the caution lights as well.
See Carl Edwards making his way back to the racetrack. They had to push that truck to get it going, so not sure exactly what went wrong there, but they took a long time on pit road. He will be the last truck on the lead lap off pit road.
Let's go down to Barry Dodson.
Well, we don't know yet what happened to the 99. I'm on the way down there, but I do know that Ted Musgrave is back in for more adjustments. And guess what, Phil? It looks like they may be moving the eccentric again.
That sure worked for him at California there, didn't it, Barry? Yeah, you see with the tape measure right there, the guy with a tape measure, they're measuring, they have to have some reference point. is an eccentric, which means an oblong bolt at the very front of the trailing arm. They're going to move that rear end housing and try to make that truck better.
You know, I couldn't believe it when they did last time. I said that was a desperate move, and then he proved me wrong because it just picked up a ton. And now they're doing that same thing again.
Barry?
I know what happened now. Just got confirmation from Jack Roush. It bottomed out and broke off the flywheel. That's how low these trucks are getting down on the racetrack. Back to you guys.
Okay, and what we're talking about, when it bottomed out, the flywheel ring gear hit the ground and it knocked the ring gear off. So now the starter motor can't engage the engine to start it, so they're going to have to pop start it every time he goes in the pits, and that's what we're seeing.
But hopefully this is going to be his last pit stop. He's obviously going to have enough fuel, and the tires should be good for this for the end of the race. So he should be done with this pit stop. So that's the good news.
We've got a tight battle for the championship. We've also got some tight coming off of pit road. If you take a look at Andy Houston, number 2.
See him pulling out right there. That's Andy, the white and red and blue truck.
Look at his teammate there.
Oh, he got squeezed.
Oh. Ran right into the 46 of Dennis Setzer. Ray?
Travis Kvapil just came back down pit road. The problem is they lost a lug nut again on that one, but this time he left and went back out. The official said, no, I saw it. There was no lug nut there, so they had to come back down. So that'll be very costly in track position for the 16. He did get that lug nut back on, but he did have to come back down pit road a second time.
He tried to pick it up there. You saw that pit stop.
That's the kind of things that you don't need to have happen when you're racing for a championship, that's for sure.
It's amazing how many problems these guys have had on this last pit stop.
Certainly Travis, from the very first lap on, has had nothing but grief all day and still running one.
And this pit stop right here, this round of pit stops, probably the most important pit stops of the entire season for these guys.
You certainly don't want to get it wrong like we're seeing a lot right now, and that's tension. That's the pressure these guys are under.
David Starr out in front of the pack. We'll be back for more green flag racing from Homestead Miami Speedway. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Drivers Association collected autographed hats and hero cards to send to the American troops overseas. This week, they received in return a framed certificate from the Pentagon, a letter of appreciation from the 447th Expeditionary Aerial Troop, and an American flag that the troops flew over Baghdad Airport on 9/11 this year in honor of the 2nd anniversary of those that lost their lives in the 2001 tragedy.
Andy Houston right there, the Team ASA CarQuest Dodge. Andy's currently being shown in the 6th position. Andy will be back in that truck all year next year.
Good for him.
David Starr leads the field. They're trying to get the track dried from problems earlier. We'll be back to green flag racing after this. Welcome back to the Ford 200 live on Speed, Homestead Miami Speedway. The final edition of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. 25 races. This is the 25th. And it's all come down to this one. 4 drivers come into this race battling. Just 39 points separating them.
You know what I see? Brandon's in 5th right there. But look who he's surrounded by. People that are not trying to win a championship.
See right now, that windshield, how dirty all that stuff is. When you go down here into the turn and that sun hits right in front, it's really hard to see out of these trucks.
You know, it looks like he did not do a tear off there, and I don't know why he didn't do it. This is probably going to be his last pit stop, and he probably has the dirtiest windshield out there. I believe I'd have done the tear off thing there.
I'd want to be able to see clearly now, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would, because things don't get real close here.
You can feel the heart rate pick up just a tad right here.
Pace truck makes its way down pit road. David Starr sets the pace in the Spears Manufacturing 75 as they come back to the green flag.
Remember, David only changed 2 tires on that pit stop, so we'll see how good 2 tires run against these 2 trucks that have been sent. Look at Bobby Hamilton go right to the top of the racetrack.
Tell you what, a bunch of the Winston Cup guys and the Busch guys are watching this 2-tire strategy as well to see if that is going to work well for him, David Starr.
Well, that's a big move by Bobby up there, getting up on the outside and nowhere to go, but looks like those 2 tires aren't working all that great right there.
Ray, what's happening?
I just wanted to check with Dave McCarty. How big of a gamble is 2 tires?
Well, we tried it and tested them the other day, Ray. It didn't seem to hurt us too bad. And as Darrell always told me, time to set on a hot stove and sweat ice cubes. We're going to do it.
I would say at this time of the year, why not gamble, right?
It's been one of them years, so we're going to take a chance and go.
All right, Dave McCarty, the crew chief on David Starr's 75 Spear Chevy.
They were 4 wide going into turn number 1. Rick Crawford came out in front.
Crawford drove down to the bottom, and I'm surprised that everybody played that good because I don't think that anybody knew he was down there.
I think right now is the worst case scenario for the 2 tires.
Oh, trouble up in the wall. Oh, good save, but see who that was.
That's Tyler Walker.
Yes,
Tyler Walker,
Tyler
he's been in trouble the whole race. His truck just hadn't handled for him. But right now, like I said, the worst time for the 2 tires because the pressures have got to equalize the rights to the lefts, where the guys with 4 tires are going to be a little bit more easier to work with.
And they drive really funny when those tire pressures are all mixed up like that.
Yep.
We stay green.
That's surprising after that pretty hard hit in the wall by Tyler.
Tyler Walker. Oh, and the caution flag now comes out.
Brandon is around.
Big problems. Our point leader gets spun around and hit hard into the wall.
I don't believe it.
All because they were coming to the yellow.
Oh, and he hit very hard.
My.
Oh, my goodness.
Brian Reffner coming in the number 80 as Brendan Gaughan was sliding to the inside of the track.
If Brian had committed to the bottom of the racetrack, he really had nowhere to go.
They were coming down in the yellow. You know, we were saying no yellow, no yellow. All of a sudden the yellow pops out. Brandon slowed down and got nailed from behind. That's what got him spinning.
Safety crews will get out there and check on these drivers.
Brendan, you okay?
You see Brendan taking the steering wheel off. Through the steering wheel.
Oh, he's just disgusted right now. He's just really.
Just brokenhearted.
Yeah.
I mean,
The championship just went away for
And he
Brendan
knows
Gaughan.
that. That's what he's feeling right now. He'll tell these guys, I'm all right, just leave me alone. Leave me alone.
He just can't believe it. Had a great truck, come from the back. But you know, I was concerned about where he was in the restart there because he needed to be thinking about being very cautious, and I'm sure he was. But his dad, that's his dad, and
Michael Gaughan.
he can't believe it either.
Nobody can believe it.
They fought this war, they'd come this far, and have it in like that.
So he really took a shot from Brian Reffner there.
Oh,
Again,
yeah.
Brian had nowhere to go, but man, he hit him hard.
And that was in the grass, so there was no slowing up to be done.
What a shame.
But we've got 3 other championship contenders now. They see Brendan's truck over there. Their spotters are telling them, hey, our point leader's out. They don't want to have to win a championship this way. But right now, they're going to have to put that out of their mind, and they're going to have to go for it. We've got a real battle now.
Let's take a look at what happened.
It's a stack-up effect. You
That's
see right
Marty
here.
Houston in the 10 out here in front sliding.
Oh, he got nailed.
Yeah, got nailed by Marty. Sent him into the outside wall head on. Hard contact. You're going to see he's going to slide down the racetrack. Again, smoke, debris going everywhere.
Now the racetrack's completely covered in antifreeze.
Marty's against the outside wall. Now Brendan's truck's going to dive to the inside. Brian had already committed to the bottom of the racetrack there. Man, hit him.
Man, that was a big hit. And luckily, right behind the door on the rear axle. Luckily for Brendan there, hit right at the post.
Yeah, you can see where it's all back in here and not.
There's a spring bouncing out. You tell me that's not a hard
there
hit?
was where the most of the impact was, right there. Fortunately, not right on the door.
Brendan Gaughan has climbed out of the number 62. Not happy. The championship just slipped out of his fingers.
And he knows it, and it's the worst feeling in the world. He just wants to go somewhere and hide.
So close, so close. The man drove so well all year.
And again, not of his own making, just in the wrong place, wrong time. Been in the right place all year long. Happened that time. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You had a boy.
Brendan knows he was number 1 today.
You did it, man. You had a great year.
He's got such a great attitude there. He is so much fun to be around.
He's a fighter, I'll tell you that.
This is he may not get this championship today, but he's going to win his share of championships. He already has in his career.
Yeah, he's done a great job all year long.
Great showman.
Let's look again at the devastation that has hit the Orleans team.
See Marty Houston right there, the front, right front. He actually had to go up high to avoid one of the IWX trucks. And when he did, he got up in a loose stuff there, lost control of that thing, and came down and caught Brendan in the right rear corner.
Was that Quaffle that was? Ooh,
man, that was a hit.
That's a hard lick.
I couldn't tell if that was Travis or if that was Jack Sprague in the
I
other
couldn't either,
IWX
but man, I almost got him too.
Take another look
See
at
who
this.
that is down on the bottom there, Phil.
I think that was Sprague right there. That's Travis.
Yeah, it almost got him too.
And folks, just to get a perspective on this, when they're coming down that straightaway, even though there was damage and there was parts flying, Brendan Gaughan's truck probably hit at least at 100 miles an hour by Brian Refner.
Look how close. I mean, Quaffle was right there.
And of course, not an intentional situation. Nothing you can do. Just one of those racing things like we talk about. But there's a championship shot right there.
And nobody wanted to see it end this way. No one. Not Ted Musgrave, not Travis Quaffle, not Dennis Setzer. They want to win a championship by beating the other drivers.
I think that was Brendan's teammate right there.
I think the other car, this other truck, 61 truck, got in the wall as well.
Brendan Gaughan acknowledging to the crowd as they cheered him on as he got out of the truck. He appreciates their support.
He needs that right now too. It make him feel better.
Coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Ford 200 on Speed Channel is brought to you by the next Ford F-150 and by Super Chips, the official automotive performance chip of Roush Racing. Max Micro Tuners give you more power for tow and go. Brendan Gaughan's number 62 being taken off of the track. We have a shot on board with Brendan Gaughan as he went through that ugly ride.
Okay, caution's coming out.
Watch out.
Boy,
It's hard to even put in words how that impact felt, isn't it, Dorsey?
Because people at home have never been through something like that. It's just a wicked thing. You know, knocks your breath out of you. You don't know what's happened for a minute. It takes you a while to realize, there went my championship. Am I okay or not okay? You just don't know.
Now, as devastated as Brendan Gaughan and his team are, these guys have got to start thinking, we've got a championship to win. Look at how close the points are now.
well, the worst right now that Brandon can finish is 32nd, based on the laps we got to go. So these cats have still got to get to the end.
Yeah, if all these other three competitors, something was to happen, they were to fall out of this race, then Brendan could still win this championship now.
Yeah.
Obviously, the odds are against that.
The odds are against that, yeah. Not very likely, but then we didn't expect this to happen either.
You got to know the crew chiefs of these guys are all yakking like crazy right now, saying, oh, man, only this many laps left. You guys can do it. You got to buckle it up right now. And
Well, they were all racing Brendan to start, before now. Now they're racing each other.
And it's going to be a race.
And they're all right there pretty close together. Quaffle's 9th, Sesser's 8th, and Ted Musgrave's 12th. So they're in a little wad right there. Little mini wad.
Mini wad.
Don't say a wad quite yet. That might not
a wad yet. Might turn into one,
might
but
be one.
Little mini wad right now.
There's Musgrave. He's the last truck right now on the lead lap in 12th. But remember, the reason he's that far back is he made so many pit stops on that previous caution flag.
Dennis Setzer running for a title in 1999, finished up 3rd because of an accident that was not of his doing. Someone else took him out of the race.
Just like we just saw with Brendan Gaughan.
Yep.
And you absolutely hate for Brendan that happened, and these guys hate it for him too, and they're going to say that because Brendan was a class of the he was a class field again.
Dennis Setzer being shown in 8th position. Travis Quaffle being shown in 9th. And again, the reason that we are under caution is because of this problem coming out of turn 4. Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Grand Finale here at Homestead Miami Speedway. And things have, for the worse, just got better for 3 drivers.
Yeah, the sun's going down, and of course it's already gone down for Brendan, but got 3 guys here that's in a hot battle now. I mean, we're going to see some real action.
And a championship, things like this happen in auto racing. This is the way some races are won and lost, and some championships are won and lost.
Got one to go here, and you know, we're gonna these guys are gonna have to suck it up. They're gonna do some real hard racing right now because they got to finish ahead of each other.
I'll tell you what, Daryl, you know what, all of us know it really. This can be the most cruel sport in the entire world, and it can give you the highest high that could ever be achieved, and all in the same time.
The peaks are never as high as the valleys are low, I can promise you.
25 laps remain in this race. Let's take a look back at what just happened.
10 truck just got up high down there. They were coming to the caution, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but the 10 got up into the loose stuff, got in the fence, and when he came off, he got into Brendan, and then, man, that 80 truck just pile driving him.
Look at all the debris on the grass there.
I mean, he was so fortunate that it was behind the driver's door.
Brian Refner, the driver of the number 80, also to the care center to check him out, because again, that was a hard
lick
hit.
on, you know, Refner.
He was conscious, and he under his own power went to
well,
the
he's
ambulance.
probably got that left leg on that brake pedal. When she hits something that hard, well, it's going to be sore at best.
Rick Crawford now setting the pace as he sits out in front of our smaller field. 28 trucks on the track.
Take a deep breath.
You call it.
You talk about every position counting right now. Every position for these guys counts.
Yeah, and the 3 guys left are right together.
You remember Brendan had the largest lead over the 3 of them, but the 3 of them were only separated by I believe it was
17 points, I think, right?
Less than 17.
22 to 39.
24 to 39.
24 to 30.
15.
We need to get Ray in on this. He's really good on man.
Meantime, Bobby Hamilton trying to work the high side around David Starr. He wants to win this race.
Yeah, David Starr with those 2 tires, you know, these cautions have probably helped him a lot.
Hey, Daryl.
Yeah, Ray.
I'll give you some math. How about number 2? That's the guy that thinks he's got the best shot of winning this right now. Those guys have been on the radio saying you're pretty sporty. They believe Andy Houston's every bit as good as that 4, and they think those are the 2 trucks that are going to move their way to the front here in the next couple laps.
Well, he just closed up on his back bumper, I can tell you that. Bobby Hamilton is flying through the turns, but he seems to struggle a little bit down the straightaway.
I don't think anybody told Rick Crawford in the 14 about that point, because he's checking out.
Debris causing our 4th caution to come out on lap 112.
Well, I tell you one thing you don't want to have right now is a whole bunch of cautions, getting the field doubled up and getting somebody alongside of you, and oh my goodness.
Guys, let's go down trackside. Barry Dodson is with Brendan Gaughan.
Not only a great race car driver, but a good friend. Brendan, this morning I said I didn't think that the other team trucks would be a factor. I'm glad you're okay if you are, and other than that, I do not know what to say.
Neither do I, Barry. Pretty calm most of the time. We had a Dodge that could win the championship, and Jimmy Smith can kiss my ass.
There you have it. I really feel bad for you.
That's right.
Well, that's just frustration, you know, disappointment. That's a man right there trying to hold back tears, and so the only way he has to vent some way, and I'm sure that he will regret saying that, but nonetheless, I understand where he's coming from.
When he looks back at this, he's going to see that it was not intentional, but at the same time, he can argue that that truck wouldn't have been in this field if they wouldn't have entered 5.
Yeah, I guess you could argue that, but there's a lot of things you can argue when it comes to racing.
Exactly.
I certainly would. I don't think I'd place any blame anywhere. It's just bad racing luck.
Guys, I tell you what, look who is in 7th, 8th, and 9th position.
Oh yeah, they're
right
hooked
now.
They're hooked together.
Yeah, they can all see the championship right there. You see Ted Musgrave has the advantage of 4 points right now over Travis Quabbel, but hey, they know what each other's doing now, so they've got an eye, and they said that, I mean, we're in the midst of one of the greatest point battles that there's ever been in the Craftsman Truck Series right here. 3 trucks right now within 5 points.
Very seldom do you come down to the last race, last few laps, and you still got 3 guys mathematically in it.
Ray?
Hey, Rick, keep in mind a teammate could be a really big advantage if they help you. Remember back in 1999, Greg Biffle had a 21-point lead at the start of the final race of the season. His teammate was Mike Bliss, who you're looking at right now. He's down here in the 16 pits, but on that day, Bliss finished 5th, and he blocked Biffle on the last lap of the race. Biffle ended up finishing 7th, and he lost the championship that day by 8 points. Why did Bliss block Biffle? Because he knew he wasn't coming back to Roush Racing the next year, and he was going to do whatever he could to try to have the best finish and keep Greg from winning that championship. Kind of weird that a teammate could go against you, but now we've got a bunch of other trucks out here still with teammates. But what about poor Dennis Setzer? He doesn't have anybody that can help him or hurt him today.
We take a look at those teammates that Ray was talking about. Ultra Motorsports with 5 trucks. Now the 10 of Marty Houston off of the track. So there's 4 Ultra Motorsports trucks still out there. Travis Kvapil, obviously, with Jack Sprague, who's a 3-time Craftsman Truck Series champion as a teammate.
Now, so far, none of these teammates have done intentionally anything to change the outcome of this race. Now, you know, an accident happened, it did. But I say so far, because now we're getting down to the end of the deal.
Yeah, well, strategy is strategy. You know, you wouldn't enter 5 trucks if you didn't have a reason to enter 5 trucks. So, I mean, that's smart. Let's face it. You can call it what you want to, but having that many guys out there on your side is a good thing, particularly when you're trying to win a championship.
On health issues, Brendan Gaughan obviously has been released from the Care Center. Marty Houston also has been released. Brian Reffner still in the Care Center, and they're checking him out.
And racing is, listen, it's unpredictable. We can strategize all we want to, and we can say, well, if this happens and that happens or something else. But racing is unpredictable. Nobody knew what happened off turn 4 was going to happen. It just did, and now we got a whole new deck of cards.
Marty Houston is one of the Ultra Team guys. He could have just as easily taken out Ted Musgrave as he did Brendan.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
You know, it certainly wasn't intentional, and unfortunately, Brendan was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
You surely don't think he looked back in his mirror and said, you don't think I'll go up here to hit this wall and come down the track and hit Brendan in the side, knock him in the wall, and knock him out of the race? I don't think so.
No. And all of the drivers had heard from their spotters the yellow's coming out. So he was checking them. Problems right away. Dennis Setzer, Travis Kvapil getting into the back of Dennis Setzer as they had to check up as the green flag came out.
Well, you ride around here on hot tires, pick up a lot of sand, debris off the track, and sometimes you'll spin the tires on restart.
Well, these trucks have about 700 horsepower. Some of these guys will restart in first gear and some of them second. And you try to put all that power down, and a lot of times, as you mentioned, those hot tires, they just spin them.
Plus the sun's going down, the temperature on the track dropping down after that caution, so.
And Musgrave's looking underneath 16 as they come off turn 4.
The championship battle, Ted Musgrave and Travis Kvapil side by side moving into turn number 1.
Kvapil to fall back in.
Kvapil out in front of Musgrave as they work their way through 1 and 2.
So Travis going to move to the inside of Dennis Setzer.
But it's all on the line here. They're racing each other, and whoever finishes ahead of the other guy is going to win the championship.
They've got some calculators smoking right now.
And they're rubbing.
And they're telling those drivers, you got to pass this guy. You got to pass that guy. And now here comes the 18 in there.
Battle for the lead. Bobby Hamilton out in front of Rick Crawford as they go past the stripe.
I just believe Bobby Hamilton, his truck has been so good all weekend long. Qualifying, practice, the whole deal. He's the man to beat for the win.
Now, Phil, as far as mathematics go, we've always joked that you can run numbers in your head as fast as anybody can. But as we move back through the points, the first 5, I believe, the first 6 receive 5 points. That's what they're separated by. 7th through 11th or 12th, I believe, is 4 points, and then on down. So when we're talking about 4 points different, we're talking about 1 place where these guys are running.
1 position. And if you pass the guy that's in front of you, that's actually equivalent to 2 places. So, because you put him back a place. So this 1 position could mean as much as 8 to 10 points.
And we almost had a problem right on the start. Let's take a look again as Travis Kvapil, Dennis Setzer, and Ted Musgrave were all right together at that start.
Yeah, this is my favorite word. You come down, you anticipate what's going to happen on the restart. Got a real battle here for a second. Yikes.
They've been bouncing off each other side by side. Crawford and Andy Houston there. rubbing paint.
I think they got together on the back stretch and again on the front stretch.
Let's take a look at that restart.
Oh, easy, boys.
Oh yeah, he got loose there. He got up alongside the 46 Setzer. Ow!
It's hard
Man,
to
he
show.
ducked back in there.
Guys, it's hard to show replays when you got great racing going on right
Forget
now.
the restart.
No
Forget
time
the
for the
restart. We got plenty going on here.
There they are again, right in line. Dennis Setzer, Travis Kvapil, and Ted Musgrave.
Smoke coming out of the Super Chips 99.
I saw a little coming out of it there earlier.
Barry, what's happening?
Well, I think you guys hit on it earlier. Right after the flywheel comes the oil pan, but I'm not sure. But it's coming out from up around the fender wells, and I don't think that's the flywheel.
It could be, though, Barry, because it wouldn't start. They've been having to push start it. Maybe a chunk of that fell out. It happened to him earlier this year, and now it's knocked the hoe in something or vibrated itself apart.
And it will vibrate with no flywheel on, that's for sure. Probably
Well,
not gonna
a
hurt
chunk,
seal out.
what'll happen, a piece of it will come out.
Right.
That championship pace tightening up. Let's take a look at that restart.
Yeah, like I said, in my favorite word, anticipation. And you're anticipating this start, and you'll see that everybody doesn't go at the same time. Musgrave got a pretty good lick on the right front there, it looks like.
All three of our point contenders right now have made contact with each other and other trucks.
They were all in the same game plan. The spotter's saying, now get a good start here.
Barry?
Hey, all you guys are up there doing all this anticipating and talking back and forth. Do you realize the way these guys are driving right now? If they take each other out, Brendan Gaughan is our champion.
We actually did talk about
Yeah.
the feasibility of that happening.
Yeah, we said that might happen, or that could happen, and it's not, it's not out of the realm of reality, but it's pretty far-fetched at this point.
Travis Kvapil making the pass on Dennis Setzer now.
The last time we saw the championship graphic, we showed Travis Kvapil 4 points behind Ted Musgrave. This would be one more position, 4 more points. That would mean he would be tied with Ted Musgrave. But by virtue of the fact that Ted Musgrave won more races, he would win the tiebreaker.
Yeah, but Ted can't keep up. He didn't seem to be able to keep up with Setzer and Kvapil, so they seem to be getting away from him.
They're tied right there. Ted Musgrave, Travis Kvapil with 11 laps to go. Does it get any closer than this?
And it's up to the Chevrolet boys to figure this deal out for themselves here.
Well, I've watched that 16 truck all year long, and when he's at his best is right at the end of the day. And he comes on like a gangbuster right at the end of the day, and he's doing it right now.
Ray?
Hey, Rick, if Travis and Ted were to tie each other, Ted would actually win the championship because he's got 3 victories this year. If Ted and Dennis Setzer were to tie each other, they would be tied with 3 victories, so it would go to second place, and Ted would win again because he has 6 second-place finishes. So if there's a tie amongst these 3, Musgrave is the winner.
Well, let me tell you something. The 11's in 5th place. What do you think's going to happen to the 11?
He's going to drop back.
About 5 to go here, 2 or 3 to go. And also, the 16 is closing on John Wood, so he's coming in a hurry.
Yeah, right now, all Travis Kvapil needs, if Ted Musgrave maintains the position he's in, which is 9th, all Travis Kvapil needs is 1 more position, whether that's Jack Sprague or John Wood, who's the next truck in front of him, 1 more spot.
And Darrell, you're right. We talked about Travis Kvapil being stealthy. You don't see him until the end, and all of a sudden there he is in your face and coming hard.
Every race I've watched, Indianapolis comes to mind. I mean, he struggled out there most of the evening, but at the end of the day, he was second. And closing on the leader in a hurry, and now he's closing down here on the back bumper of these 2 trucks in front of him.
We talked at Las Vegas. Jack Sprague was running second on the last lap at Las Vegas. He backed off coming off turn number 4, allowed 3 trucks to pass him, which one of those being Travis Kvapil. That was 5 more points, Darrell. Right now, Travis Kvapil needs 1 more position. You see right there, he's gaining on John Wood. If he doesn't get to John Wood, I'll bet you we'll see Jack Sprague back off and let Travis Kvapil pass him. And that could win him a championship.
Here comes right here as you're talking about it. I see him slowing up.
When we come up 7 laps to go, the 16 has to get by John Wood to get in front of Ted Musgrave.
Now, will the 11 hold up the 50? That's the next deal. Can he slow up the pace?
Stop behind Sprague and make sure Travis does not pass it.
We're hearing the strategy right there. That was Travis Kvapil's radio. He said, get behind Sprague and make sure they don't pass you.
All he's got to do is keep Dennis Setzer behind him. And Ted Musgrave can control his own destiny. If he could come up there and pass Dennis Setzer and 1 more truck, then that may be the difference.
Yeah,
but right now, Travis Kvapil has control of this championship.
Right, and Ted is just not that good. He hasn't been able to maintain the speed the other two guys have. And Kvapil has caught John Wood, and I believe he can get by him all right. Then he just follows the 11 holes.
I don't know who it is yet. Somebody in the wall.
That's Scott Lynch in the Orleans. Yerf dog number 61.
And now the caution's out.
Oh, boy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before you leave,
remember back to the very first race of the season, Daytona, green, white, checkered. We do not finish under caution in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Hey, anything can happen in this restart. We know Ted Musgrave may not have the fastest truck, but he's liable to get 2 or 3 positions on a restart. Anything can happen.
well, it'll be single file. That's one thing, so that's going to change things a little bit. But we saw on that restart where they spun the tires.
Oh, look at here, a little side by side.
Oh, he got
DJ
loose.
Jones.
Got loose on the bottom of the
Sucked
bottom
him
of the
around.
racetrack there, yeah.
Well, this is going to be big at the end of this thing. For the championship, green, white, checker.
Now, IWX, Steve Coulter, they are the defending champions in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in the IWX Chevrolet. That 16, piloted by Mike Bliss a year ago, won the championship. Travis Kvapil looking to defend the title, but Travis Kvapil is not driving that truck next year.
Well, he may go out a champion. As we talked earlier, right now they're dead tied by virtue of the fact that Ted Musgrave has more wins. He would get the nod right now, but all Travis Kvapil needs is one more position, and he's got a friendly foe about 2 spots in front of him.
Oh, yeah, and I think it's kind of interesting that they traded Sprague for Kvapil. You know, they could be trading a champion for a champion for next year. But, man, I tell you, I'm impressed with Travis. He's done a good job today.
Ray?
Hey, Rick, Dennis Setzer came on the radio and said, what do you think we should do here, Danny? And Danny Gill, his crew chief, said, why don't we come in and pit and put tires on this thing? We're going to have a green-white checker here. It'll be only the lead lap trucks up front. And Setzer said, I want to try to race for it. He said, let's not give up this spot. I'm right by the 16. Let's try to race for it. So they decided not to pit.
Guys, you know one thing, we're saying this is going to be a green-white checker. We're 4 laps from the finish. We're liable to get 1 lap to go next time around here. So we might get a green-white checker, but it's going to be the regular distance of 134 laps.
We talked to Travis Kvapil earlier about this very situation. Here's Travis.
Anytime you go out and have the year we've had, win the champion, or hopefully win the championship, win a race, number of top 5s, bunch of second place finishes, and basically you're not invited back to drive for the team again. I mean, it's kind of disappointing, you know. And for a little bit there, I probably lost a little confidence in myself, and you know, I was kind of wondering, you know, what else do I need to do, you know, to prove that, you know, I'm worthy of being in this with this team. But you know, at the same time, you know, one door closes, another door opens.
I feel for him, because I was thinking the same thing. I mean, he has done an outstanding job this year. Here he is on the verge of winning the championship. And like he said, and he said it best, I wasn't invited back. That's hard. That would be pretty hard. That would be pretty devastating, wouldn't it, Phil?
Sure would.
Hard on your confidence, wouldn't you say?
And I talked to Travis. I said, Travis, do you really
want to go?
Do you want to win this championship here to kind of show these guys that maybe they're making a mistake? He said, you know, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to show these guys that, hey, they're getting a great driver in Jack Sprague, but I think I'm a pretty good driver too, and I think we've done a pretty good job this year. Ray Dunlap.
Phil, I just wondered what you guys' opinion is about the 11 who is about to drop behind the 16. Teammates in work here. They're going to make this happen because it's a green-white checker. They've been on the radio. This is Teamworks in action. Is this Formula One or what? I don't think it's right. I wonder what your opinion is. If Sprague backs up and lets Travis go in front of him, I'm not sure I want to win a championship that way.
Well, like I said, you didn't enter all these trucks and all these scenarios for nothing. It's playing out like an owner would expect it to when he entered the 2 trucks. You know, if he can help, one can help the other, like it or not, that's the deal.
Actually lost the championship being double teamed like that. It's a tough way to go, but it is racing.
It is. I mean, Jack's not running bad, and if he hadn't had a bad day, you would expect him, out of courtesy, to move out of the way. He's not running for a championship. He would almost be better off just to move out of the way and let everybody go by.
Now, if he does that, it doesn't affect the points the way that Travis wants it to be.
That would be the right thing to do.
Right.
Be ready. We're coming to the green here right now. Coming to the green. Be ready. Come on.
Their single file line. We've got 3 laps of racing to go for the 2003 NASCAR
Ready.
Championship.
Green flag.
The green flag flies.
Here comes Ted.
Well, Ted pulled to the inside there. You're not supposed to
can't
do
do
that. He pulled to the inside before they got to the start-finish line. It looked like he passed Dennis Setzer.
Looking on the underneath side of the 16 right now.
They are going to black flag Ted Musgrave for that move
Look
there.
at Dennis Setzer going down into turn 3. He's underneath Quaffle.
He got by Travis Kvapil.
And the one's going to be black flagged.
Oh, boy.
Boy, how would you like to be black flagged out of a championship?
The white flag flies. 1.5 miles to go for the 2003 championship. Currently, Ted Musgrave being shown in 6th, but the black flag comes out for him. Travis Kvapil and Dennis Setzer fighting for 7th.
Side by side down the back.
If Ted Musgrave has been black flagged, Travis Kvapil will come out. Bobby Hamilton takes the checkered flag, and Travis Kvapil will win the 2003 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Well, Jimmy.
I think Jimmy Smith may be celebrating a little bit prematurely there, because the black flag was definitely out for Ted Musgrave.
Well, just a little confusing.
What a day! What a day!
Oh, man.
I waited 9 years for this.
I'd hate to be the bearer of bad news there.
When the official comes to talk to Jim Smith.
Down here, this
Oh, boy, this is interesting.
Bobby Hamilton winning his 2nd race and winning $10,000 for his team from winning from the pole. The Craftsman win from the pole award.
And you know, I thought Bobby Hamilton would be in this position, a championship battle. I thought he brought his experience in that truck to this series this year. I thought he'd be the man. He started the year off great, and he's ending it great.
Tragic things happening for this championship in 2003. We take a look at the restart. Again, the rule is you cannot pass on the left on the restart. Ted Musgrave.
They have not got to the line. Right there is the line.
Now, he did not make the pass, but he was attempting the pass going to the white line. We take another look at it.
Well, you're not supposed to pop out on the guy until you pass
Start-finish line, yeah.
Whether it's pass or not, I mean, he didn't make the pass, but he's clearly made the pop.
He's almost clearly up beside Dennis Setzer by the time
Well,
they
this
get
is similar to what happened out in Texas earlier this year in the Winston Cup race.
That's
or in
right.
the Busch race.
The
I'm
Busch
sorry.
race
with Brian
Vickers. Very similar situation.
Except this one was for the championship. I think Jim Smith has just been told
Settle down.
Hey, James.
that he may have a problem.
Any attempt at all, he was up by him too early.
Devastating news for another team in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Facial expression says it all. He just got the bubble burst right there.
Oh, yeah.
I feel so bad for Jimmy Smith. He was one of the founders of this series.
Yeah, out in California, they run the initials, all the first races that were run before they ever moved the series down south. And
who'd have guessed the thing would end out like this?
Yeah, see, they never passed Jack Sprague either. So we talked about Jack Sprague backing off. It never happened.
Yeah.
Travis Kvapil finished behind Jack Sprague, but it looks like if they go ahead and penalize Ted Musgrave, that Travis Kvapil will win this championship for IWX Motorsports.
And obviously Travis feels he's won the championship as he comes to start-finish line now.
It looked pretty clear that he jumped, but we don't know.
Radio still talking about making the call.
which, if you look at the 46, he is not closed up on the truck in front of him. That's no excuse, but it tells me that he must have been lagging back a little bit. And
there's a couple truck links in between he and the truck of Travis Kvapil that was in front of him.
Yeah, you'd have thought he'd have been right up on the back bumper of.
I remember he had
16.
transmission trouble earlier too. He had to change transmissions this morning, so he may not have had a good restart transmission in that truck.
The one thing we do know is that the Square D Dodge of Bobby Hamilton won
there you go.
the Ford 200.
Yeah, where is
and
Bobby?
So Bobby Hamilton will be able to celebrate this victory to close out the the 2003 season. He was dominant early
Yeah.
on in the season. We thought Bobby Hamilton was going to win the 2003 championship, and then problems set in with the Square D Dodge.
But he's been bad to the bone all weekend here. He practiced on the top of the list. He set on pole. He won the race.
Bobby Hamilton Jr., you see throwing, throwing the drinks.
We were watching that championship battle. Bobby Hamilton and Rick Crawford had a tremendous battle for the lead. Rick Crawford actually was credited with leading the white flag lap, 1 lap to go, and Bobby Hamilton ended up beating him through turns 1 and 2 to take the win.
And with the championship race so close, we focused on that, but the conclusion of this race was separated by just 18/100ths of a second.
It's an awesome race in the front, but the championship situation was just unbelievable.
Well, the 16 is on the track, surrounded by people, and the 1 truck is sitting down on pit road all by itself.
Obviously a huge decision for NASCAR here, and so they don't want to make the wrong call. They're going to take their time, make sure they saw exactly what they think they saw. But let's go down to victory lane now. Bobby Hamilton getting out of his truck.
Nashville's finest crawling down right. Oh man, I'm getting champagne, everything all over me. $10,000 Craftsman win from the pole. Bobby, the last 3 or 4 races, you guys have gotten back on track. What a way to carry momentum into 2004.
I tell you what, we feel real good about it, Barry. Guys at the shop been cutting bodies off this thing. Want to thank Ted Flack and all the engineers at Dodge. I don't know who won the championship. I hope Dodge did, but if they didn't, we'll try to help them do it again next year. But I mean, we just signed Square D again a couple nights ago. Good day for them. Joey Arrington, Goodyear. This new generation tire is I can't say the real word because little Bobby got fined for what I want to say. But, anyhow, we want to thank Unical for their past support and everything. I want to thank Mack Truck for helping, Dodge naturally, Square D, Dickies, everybody that's made BHR possible this year. This is for my little sister. I lost her about 2 months ago. And it's a good day. Good day.
Where's that little dog at?
Where's Coco? Look at her out.
Coco joined them in Darlington.
Papa's little girl.
Papa's little girl. How about that?
But anyhow, I want to thank Dodge for all their support. We're looking forward to going next year. Mack Trucks. I know this is abnormal, but I want to thank Ford for sponsoring this race. We need to pay attention to all the manufacturers that sponsor, make the series as great as it is. Craftsman, Unical, like I said, it's just been a great day.
Heck of a job for the Square D Dodge. Great effort. Way to wind it back up.
I'm having fun again.
And that's a great thing for Bobby Hamilton. We take a look
let's
again.
Look at the finish. I mean, I was watching Brandon and those guys, and Travis and those guys.
This is the closing straightaway. Bobby Hamilton just in front of Rick Crawford.
And as you said, Crawford led the lap previous to the final.
So. Crawford was really fast on the straightaway. I mean, he had some straightaway speed, but Bobby was better through the turns. Bobby was he was cornering a little bit better.
Emotions roller coastering for everyone in this championship. Brendan Gaughan confronting Jim Smith. NASCAR continues to determine who the 2003 champion is. If Musgrave did not receive the black flag, Ted Musgrave would be your champion. If he did receive the black flag, Travis Kvapil is your champion.
Well, if I was Jim Smith, the truck owner of the one, and I thought I had any shot at all, I wouldn't be standing down there on pit road. I'd be up in the big red truck right now doing my politicking.
The new trophy for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on stage. We'll find out who receives it when we come back. Welcome back to Homestead, Miami. We still have not determined who the champion is in the 2003 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, but this is after the restart.
See, there's Ted Musgrave right there, but again, this is after the restart. Look up at the flag stand. See that flag?
The black flag was displayed.
And
that's a black flag.
You can't pick that one up either.
No, we can see that, but there's no way he could see that flag.
No. It's it could have been for anybody, but I think he probably knew it was for.
Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Chris Showalter, the crew chief, sits here talking to Travis Kvapil, and here's the story. We still don't know what's going on. What's up with you? You're sitting here and have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, this is crazy. I know if that caution wouldn't have came out, we had it in our hands for sure. We were gaining on the 50 and 11 a bunch every lap, and we just needed to finish 2 spots ahead of Ted, and we were going to do that easily. We had a great truck. We put ourselves in a hole from the first corner of the race. I don't know what happened. The 4 and 18 got bumping each other going into turn 1, and I dove to the bottom. I thought I was clear, and just about had a big wreck right away. I thought it was over, but things went our way. The 62 had problems, and the 46 and I in the 75 or the 1 got the race for it, and they say the 1 jumped that last restart. So if that's the case, he should be the last truck on lead lap, man. If that's the case, we'll be champions.
Which is worse, getting ready to start this race and getting in there with all those nerves, or still sitting here and not knowing?
Well, I don't know. I know we're either first or second, so that's pretty good. We could have came out of here 4th, but the guys did a great job. I mean, we had a great truck all week. Chris Showalter did an awesome job. It was my first time really working with him, just Chris all week, and things really went well for us. We had a good truck all week and made a couple good adjustments in the race, and we were probably one of the fastest trucks out there.
Okay, let's talk about the big picture for next year. We got Toyota announcements made today. We know you're going there. How weird will it be for you to say sayonara to the team that won the title for 2 years in a row?
Well, I don't know. At least, I didn't get as many victories as this team probably wanted to have, but we completed all but 1 lap all year long, and that was just because we got spun out at Bakersfield. This team's a great team. They had faith in putting me in the championship-winning truck, and I think we pull it off. I don't know. 2 years in a row for Steve Coulter and IWX Motor Freight is pretty cool.
How close was the call out there when Brendan got involved in that crash? It looked like you were right about to be in it.
Yeah, we were right on top of it. I don't know what was wrong with the 10 truck. He was way up against the wall. I don't know if he had a flat tire or what. I seen him come down off the wall, and I dove to the bottom, and he just clipped the 62 truck in the right rear quarter panel. I mean, you hate it for them guys. I mean, they were doing what they needed to do to win the championship. They came from the back. They had a lot of problems this weekend. Something silly like that took them out of the championship. So them guys did a great job all year long. The Orleans team did a good job. They shouldn't hang their heads by no means. They had a great year.
Okay, do me a favor. Sit right there for just a few more minutes, and we'll try to get you some news. Okay.
All right, I'm ready.
Where you got to go? Nowhere, right?
Just some champagne, I hope.
Okay, 10-4, guys.
If you're just tuning in, you tuned in at the most dramatic point of the entire race, because we still have not determined who the champion is yet. But let's listen in as Ted Musgrave and their radio talk about what they think might have happened.
Side running into each other. Bring it to the line there, champ. Bring it to the line, champ. They said they black flagged us. Why? To the left. Everybody checked up. I didn't want to hit them. We got to book this. I mean, they just backed on the gas. I'm on the brakes.
Guys,
that would be my story.
Let's hold on 1 second. Barry Dotson is with Ted Musgrave.
Well, Ted, we're confused. We don't know. I didn't have a good vantage point from the pits. We don't know right now how it stands.
Well, we're coming into green, and I don't know if Travis spun the wheels or he just hit the brakes. Everybody's on the gas, everybody's moving forward, and he stopped, and I turned left to avoid from having a big wreck. And then as soon as I did that, he stood on the gas, and I had to get on the gas too. So it's just one of them deals. I think I know how to win championships now, just play dirty like he does and everybody else. I'm the most fairest guy out there in the world, but it seems like, I say, this sport here and the way it is, the guys that run clean and do the best job they can are the guys that get screwed.
Well, I know you put a lot into it, and they just told us Travis is a champion.
Yeah, I heard all the boos. Huh.
I'm with you, brother. They put you back to 13th.
Yeah, like I said, that figures. Screw them. That's just the way it's always been ever since I've been in this series. They just don't want me to win and everything. But we keep trying. We'll come back, and like I said, next year, if they don't think we ain't playing fair no more. We're gonna just play like everybody else, and you're gonna see the biggest cheating son of a bitch at the same day.
Right.
Hey, Barry, we got a Wisconsin champion over in Winston Cup, and now we got one in trucks. Congratulations, man. What an amazing deal to come here and finally get the big trophy. Congratulations.
This is awesome. This is why right here. This team, Dave Fuge, Steve Coulter, they put a truck under me. that is superior. The crowd's booing, but Ted was desperate. He was desperate. He, green, white, checkered. He had to make up 2 spots on me, and it wasn't going to happen under green flag. I'm just so proud of this team, Chevrolet Silverado, IWX Motor Freight, everybody that supports us. Mark Smith builds great engines. We didn't have a 1-engine problem all year long, and unbelievable. I'm speechless.
I thought I was going to see the 11 truck go flying straight to the backwards and let you go forward. What happened there? That didn't happen either.
Well, I'm sure Jack was going to help us if it came right down to it, but we were racing the 50 and the 11. We were running them down. We were going to pass them, and that was going to be insurance for us to win the championship. But a couple cautions late in the race kind of spoiled our plans, and I didn't know what was going to happen. And luckily, like I said, Ted was desperate. He had to make up some ground on a green, white, checker deal, and he took a chance. And I guess it probably just didn't pay off for him.
Long way from Madison International, isn't it?
It sure is. I want to thank everybody back home. Kevin Lash, Bruce Miller, guys that really helped me out in my racing career, bought me tires, paid for my engines, bought chassis parts, Jim Pearson, Butch Hansen, everybody that's helped me out, them guys, this is for you. This is the only way I can pay you back.
Okay, congratulations. Travis Kvapil is the champion 2 years in a row, and IWX truck sits here at the champion stage.
The thing that was interesting to me is he sat in that truck, Travis. He wasn't, we'll finish first or we'll finish second. He wasn't out jumping up and down, ranting and raving about, well, Ted Musgrave did it. He kept his cool. Mark of a true champion.
I was going to say, if he said he was speechless, he was the only one that was speechless.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe for good reason.
An amazing thing's going to happen. Travis Kvapil just won the championship, and yet he won't get that #1 garage stall when he goes to the racetrack next year, because it'll goes to the owner.
Travis is coming out. He's the champion. We got it.
Our 2003 champion, Travis Kvapil in the IWX Chevrolet. Welcome back to Homestead Miami Speedway. We have crowned our 2003 champion. He has only won 1 race all season, and that is the fewest number by any NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion, and also he's the youngest driver to ever win the NASCAR Series.
And the race he won at Bristol, if you remember, he only led 1 lap. So, but our Winston Cup champion only won 1 race this year too. Those boys from Wisconsin seem to know how to do the math.
Let's go to our second place in the points finisher. That is Dennis Setzer with Barry Dodson.
You know what, guys? I finally found a happy driver down here. Now, Dennis, you finished 8th. You didn't do what you had to do, but it was a great run for the Morgan Dollar Chevrolet. Their first venture for a championship, and you're a happy boy.
Boy, I'm so happy, Barry, and I ain't about to cuss. I can tell you that. All these guys are happy around here. It's just a great day for us on the Axiom Silverado. Came from a long ways back this year during this championship, and these guys worked hard all year, built us trucks all year, whatever we need to do, and I'm proud of all of them.
Thank you very much. You're a class act.
Thank you very much. We'd like to thank Unocal. This is a lot of years they've been involved in our sport. Been a great, great supplier of fuel for us for a long time. We'll miss those guys dearly.
There you have it, Dennis Setzer.
Dennis Setzer. We take a look at the Ford top 10 or Ford point standings for this championship. Travis Kvapil wins it by 9 points over Dennis Setzer. Ted Musgrave in 3rd, 18 points back. Brendan Gaughan 4th, 40 points back. The closest finish in NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series history for the championship.
I like this point system. It's really a good one. They ought to try it in Winston Cup.
We'll be back to celebrate with Travis Kvapil as he is about to get the hardware. Let's head down to the giant Craftsman toolbox for the handing off of the trophy. We'll go down to Speed Channel's Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. Championship weekend here at Homestead certainly lived up to its expectations, and with me right now is Motorsports Marketing Manager Teray Claiborne. Teray, an incredible weekend, and I know you've got a nice presentation here for our champ.
It's been a great season, a great series, and on behalf of Craftsman, Travis, I want to present you with the 2003 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship Trophy. Congratulations to you and the IBWF team.
And that's real champagne, folks. I can attest to that. I'll tell you what, buddy, we've already talked to you, but I know the anticipation there was pretty incredible. Has it sunk in yet? You are the Craftsman Truck Series champ.
I don't know if I got tears in my eyes or if it's from the champagne. This is pretty awesome. First and foremost, Steve Coulter and IWX Motor Freight. You know, they're the ones that gave me the opportunity to get in this truck after Mike Bliss vacated last year. And Chevrolet Silverado, it's the best truck out here, toughest trucks for sure. Unical, I want to give them a shout out. This is their last year in the series. They've done a great thing for NASCAR, helping supporting all 3 NASCAR divisions, and this is awesome. Look at these guys back here.
What are you going to do to celebrate?
I don't know. I guess I haven't put any much thought or time into it, but I'm going to have to write an acceptance speech for the banquet tomorrow night.
All right, where's Jennifer at? She up here? Huh? Get over here. How about a victory kiss, huh?
You bet.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer and Travis Kvapil, the 2003 champions.
So the celebration takes place in Victory Lane. Travis Kvapil, the second Raybestos Rookie of the Year winner to win the championship.
Can't help treat. Visit adultadd.com. Take a simple test and talk to your doctor about adult ADD and take control.
Tonight, get revved up with speed. First up at 6, NASCAR past champions with a look at 3-time champ David Pearson. At 7, Winston Cup previews and predictions from Michael and the guys. Trackside at Homestead. And at 10, Rush Hour on Dirt. All this tonight, only on Speed.
Coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Ford 200 on Speed Channel is brought to you by the next Ford F-150 and by Craftsman, the official tools of NASCAR and the NHRA. Let's go down to Barry Dodson, who's standing by with John Wood.
Well, John, not too bad of a run. Top 10 here. Travis Kvapil was really closing there late, and he needed that spot. Did you see him coming?
Yeah, I saw him. It was like a herd of elephants coming. Him, Setzer, and Musgrave. And when we made it 4 wide on the back straightaway going into 3, none of those guys were going to back off. So I figured I might as well have to be the soft guy and do it. And man, what a race! It reminds me of Daytona. I mean, we come to these big places like this with the big spoiler package, and it's just the most exciting race you can imagine.
It was hairy pretty much all day. A lot of sand on the racetrack, stuff like that. Do you like the racetrack? I know you didn't get to run the old one, but how you like this one?
Well, I mean, it was hairy all day, and even on and off the track. You know, it's a lot of dirty talking. My mom always said, "Don't cuss, call Gus. He will cuss for both of us." So, keeping it clean, man.
Attaboy. There you go, man. He's always a lot of fun, John Wood. Right?
He's not old enough to cuss.
Hey, Barry, Rick Crawford is standing here, and I'll tell you what, all I did was look down here and watch for the points contenders to come by, and I didn't notice there was a really good race up front, wasn't there?
Well, it's pretty important to watch a points race, but it was important for us to win this last race here at Homestead Miami Speedway. What a great facility they turned this place into. It's always been nice, but they built a racetrack here. Me and Bobby Hamilton give it a heck of a run, and when we led the white flag, but we didn't lead the checkered, and we come up second with the Circle Bar Motel and RV Park Ford F-150, and Robert and Doug Yates engines under the hood did a super job, and my pit crew guys were great. They got us out in the lead after caution circulated the pits, and got me out second. First truck with a 4-tire stop, and we led most of the day, but just couldn't lead that last lap.
Now, you won here in 1998 on the completely different racetrack. Which one do you like better?
Well, I'll rate this one a 10 today because we ran good and had a lot of fun, and pulled off some moves that maybe somebody across the fence will see, and because we want to take that forward up front.
Okay, Ray Stonkus will probably not be full-time with you next year. Blake Bainbridge, who's been helping you now, is going to the Busch Series. So what's the deal with this team, and who's going to be calling the shots?
We're interviewing for crew chiefs. We know we got a race team that can run up front, and we got a pit crew that can do the job. We got engines under the hood. We got a good product to sell, and we'll try to get a crew chief here in the next couple of weeks and go do some testing, and so we're interviewed.
Okay, you had a great day today. Rick Crawford finishes second on the podium here at Homestead.
And let's take a look at the other finished positions. Bobby Hamilton, of course, coming home for his second win of the season, Darlington, and now closing out the season with a win here. Rick Crawford in second.
Two-tire Dave Starr hung in there pretty good. Those 2 tires he took on that last stop.
Remember, guys, Dennis Setzer set an all-time Craftsman Truck Series record by getting his 20th consecutive top 10 finish in a season.
And T.J. Jones right there.
Taking that record away from Ron Hornaday.
Right. Look at the next page here. Ted Musgrave, disappointed as we saw. Kelly Sutton, really good job by Kelly.
Kelly looking to run the entire season next year if she can.
And Buddy Rice. I mean, you know, there's not people that just show up and run with these guys every week. So a bunch of these new names really in the top 20.
Then you see Brendan Gaughan and Marty Houston down at the bottom of this page here. What a heartbreaking day for Brendan Gaughan.
Take a look at the final 6. Brian Reffner, we've been told, had been taken to the hospital to check out an ankle. He was having problems with that, obviously, from the collision with Brendan Gaughan.
Everybody has a project.
Panel's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series post-race show is presented by Craftsman. An extremely emotional race for a lot of different teams. Brendan Gaughan, probably the most emotional. While in 5th place, Marty Houston getting into the side of him. He slides down the front stretch, and then a big collision with Brian Reffner.
And he got himself where he needed to be. Started in the rear, you know, with some engine problems, got himself in the top 5, and then that happened. And, well, that's a huge lick right there. I hope Reffner's okay. We know Brendan is, and I hope that Reffner's okay.
Acknowledging the fans. The fans were cheering for Brendan.
See Ted Musgrave. This is, you see the black flag up top of your screen and the white flag.
Green, white, and black, Phil.
Yeah, this is when he comes to the line. This is NASCAR's rule, I think, is they deem if you're in the process of passing somebody, you're not allowed to do that. And that's what they deemed that Ted obviously went ahead and completed the pass on Dennis Hutchins.
And oh, by the way, Bobby Hamilton did win the race.
Yeah.
And $10,000 for being the pole man.
Yeah, here's the way they explained it at Texas. He intended to make that pass.
Your 2003 champion, Travis Kvapil, with the hardware. Celebration continuing for the IWX team. Travis Kvapil enjoying the chance to be in front of the trophy.